Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be telling you guys the 10 different ways that I made money in college. If you don't know, I just graduated class of 2020 and now I'm in grad school, but my whole time throughout college I was like the queen of side hustles. Like I would have 3 or 4 different jobs going on at one time, like at any given point, and it was because they were all jobs that I could do myself, made my own schedule. I got really lucky because I figured it out quickly how to be independent and make money in college without needing a traditional job. So I made a TikTok about this and you guys were super interested, so I wanted to make a whole video on 10 different ways that I did try to make money in college, and I will give you tips and tricks and definitely tell you which ones were my favorite that made me the most money. So before we get started, make sure that you subscribe. I post all the time, and leave a comment down below. Let me know if I missed something because I would love to know. Maybe there's a side hustle I can throw in with all my jobs I'm doing now. So let's go ahead and get into it. The first thing that I did in college is UberEATS / Postmates. Personally, I did Postmates, but I know UberEATS is pretty much the same idea. And I kind of think, looking back on it, UberEATS might have been a little bit more active in my college town that I was in. And there's also DoorDash. So those are the 3 like main food delivery services. I think this is a really great job during COVID times as well, because people aren't wanting to go to restaurants, they're not wanting to get their food. So you can be that middleman who's getting their food for them and taking it to them. Obviously there's lots of safety precautions, which is great. But I did Postmates. Postmates gives you a preloaded card so that no money comes out of your pocket, and then they pay you, they give you a free bag to carry the food in that's like heat insulated and everything. It's super nice process, easy to get accepted. And for Postmates, I would make about $15 an hour. You definitely do have to do a lot of driving and put some miles on your car, which is something to think about. But I think it's worth it if you just need some quick cash for the weekends, which is a lot of times when I would do that. If I knew I wanted to go out one weekend and I didn't have any money, I could Postmates for 3 or 4 hours and have enough for like a night out. So Postmates is really great, really easy. You make your own schedule, you drive in your own car, and that's something I really loved about it. The second thing that I did is I actually drove for Uber. So I was an Uber driver before the pandemic hit. I stopped doing it in March when everything started happening, but I did it for quite a few months, and I would make anywhere between $20 to $25 an hour. Again, it's relatively easy to get accepted, I think. You just have to pass a background check and a driving record check. But I would drive for a few hours, make 50, 70, 100 bucks, and then have that for my weekends. You also make really great tips with Uber, you know, just have conversations with everybody. I got a lot of really great cash tips if I just talked to people, and it's definitely more dangerous. So I would say make sure your friends know your location if you are going to be Ubering. I only Uber during the day, which is another tip I would probably give to kind of avoid the drunk bar scene. Don't be afraid to decline a ride if you're not feeling good about it, if they have a low rating. But Ubering was one that I really enjoyed because I like talking to people, and I like that I could just pick up and go. I could turn on my Uber app and sit at my house, and if I got a ride, because I was in a college town, I could just drive 5 minutes to go pick up my ride, if that makes sense, because you don't have to be in your car waiting for a ride. You can just be at your house if you're in a city like I was and waiting for a ride. But often you are busy enough that you are going to be go, 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 go. Very rare that I was sitting and waiting for a ride. So yeah, I would make anywhere from $20 to $25 an hour driving for Uber. Another thing that I did is tutoring services. This can be all different levels. You could literally tutor someone, which you can charge $30-ish an hour as a college student, I would say. Or you can do what I would do sometimes, which is edit papers for profit. And I mean edit, I don't mean do the papers, but you can edit papers. I would charge about $5 a page to edit a paper. How I would do that is I would turn on my Microsoft tracking. So any change I made was tracked, and all the comments I would put on there they could see. So it wasn't like I was making free changes for them. I would be adding comments, and then they would Venmo me usually. I would say you can advertise that service on Facebook. If you have Facebook groups for your college, that's a really great place to put that out there. I also mainly did that for my friends because they kind of knew like that I was good at writing and that I would do stuff like that. So a lot of them would reach out to me and be like, hey, can you read over this paper? I'm really confused by the prompt. Can you give me your feedback? I'll give you $10. something like that. The next way I made money for a really long time is Care.com. Care.com is a babysitting service, if you will. You can also find, I think, other types of jobs on there, but I used it for babysitting. I would find people to babysit on the weekends, mainly for date nights, but at one point I was regularly going in for a family like twice a week from like 3 to 6. Babysitting, you're gonna make about $15 an hour, which isn't quite as good as all the other ones, but it's pretty easy, and if you love kids, then Care.com is a great option. There's so many families on there, and they really background check you, so the families feel comfortable with you automatically. Kind of in the same realm is house sitting. There's a website called housesitter.com, and I would also use one called sittercity.com. Both websites I used to find people who needed their house sat if they had no pets or no animals, but they were going out of town for a week. Sometimes people just want their lights turned on and off and their mail taken in, and that is such good passive money. You can get like $100 for a week, and you only have to stop by their house once a day to get their mail. Great gig, and you can do that along with like 3 or 4 other things because it's so easy. Another thing that I did is pet sitting, kind of in the same realm. I did use Sitter City for pet sitting, and I ended up finding a really great gig of this woman who traveled for work. So once a month she was gone for a week, and she had 2 cats. She lived by herself in a beautiful apartment, and I would literally spend the week at her place taking care of her cats, and she paid me really great. And I'm so sad she had to move, but she was like the best. Once a month I knew I had that week of pet sitting for her. And then when she moved away, I actually found someone else on Facebook who needed me to walk their dog weekly, so I ended up walking a 6-month-old golden retriever puppy twice a week for 30 minutes, and they paid me $75 a week. So that was a really great gig I found on Facebook, so I would definitely check out pet sitting if you love animals. Kind of in the same realm is Wag and Rover. These are 2 pet sitting apps. I was on Rover, but I know Wag is a good option too. I actually use Wag pretty often to get people to come and walk Franklin for me, but both of them you have to be very thoroughly background checked. You get reviews from people. So I did Rover for dog sitting mainly. So someone brought their dog to me, and she stayed with me, or he stayed with me for like a week. Got really great money from it, and it's just a good middleman so that you can make sure you get paid. They know that you're safe. You kind of can hold each other accountable by using these apps. Wag, I think you make $10 for a 30-minute walk, so maybe not the best money, but you definitely get to meet a lot of really cute dogs and you get your exercise in. So those are both 2 really great apps to be connected with people who need services for their pets. Another way that I made money is Poshmark. I know this is kind of, you hear this one a lot, but Poshmark is a really great app. I would always sell like my old like Michael Kors purses and just stuff like that that I wasn't really into anymore. And what I ended up doing is actually offering to my family to sell their things for a % of the profit, and also my friends, because a lot of people are just too lazy to get on Poshmark and do it themselves and take them to the USPS. So like have your mom or whoever, or your grandma or your best friend give you their purse they want to sell for $200 and take 10% for doing all the work for them, and they get the free money. So they're gonna get $180, you're gonna get $20, and you barely have to do anything to sell on Poshmark. So that is a really good little side gig for you if you don't have much stuff of your own to sell, which obviously start with your own stuff, but then you could totally make like a selling thing with your friends and family. I think that is actually really profitable if you have the space for it is buying and selling furniture from Facebook Marketplace. So the best way to do this is I have a store where I'm from called Habitat Restore. It's a Habitat Humanity store, basically like a Goodwill or any other kind of thrift store, but all they have is furniture. So what I would end up doing is getting cheap furniture. For example, that's where I got my desk from. I also have gotten side tables and chairs from there, and definitely improve them before you try to sell them, because I do think it's wrong to take from Goodwill and then sell it for expensive on Facebook Marketplace. But I think if you make an improvement, then you can sell on Facebook Marketplace. So for example, take a side table, like a small side table you probably get for $20 from Goodwill. That's, you know, wooden, kind of rotten, kind of broken down. Take it home, sand it, spray paint it white, black, blue, whatever color you want. And then you could probably turn a profit and sell that for $50 to $60 on Facebook Marketplace. So with products put in, you're probably gonna make a profit of $30, and then that goes up with bigger things. You can also get a desk from one of these places and buy it for about 50 bucks and refinish it like I did mine. I painted it and I stained it, and I could probably sell that for $200. So that would be a huge profit. So kind of like a furniture restoration thing is really great. People are always on Facebook Marketplace looking for furniture. So if you have the time and space, that's a really fun project and way to make some money. Last thing I have for you guys, number 10, is research studies. I would always get emails about participating in research studies for Amazon gift cards or being entered in a drawing or anything like that. I participated in quite a few studies. One study ended up paying me like $250, and all I had to do was go in 3 times and breathe in a tube because they were doing a vape study and I don't vape. So I was like one of their control people who don't vape. So I went in 3 times, breathed in like a little tube so they could measure my breaths, and I got $250 for it. Such good money for so easy. So definitely make sure you don't just like delete those emails about research studies, because you actually can get some really good money. A lot of them will pay you just to come in and take a survey. Another time, me and my friend went in and you had to answer questions about each other. It was actually pretty funny. It would be like, how many drinks does your friend have on a weekend? And we would have to answer questions about each other, and we both got paid like 50 bucks just to go in and do that. It was about perception and college culture and stuff. So definitely keep a lookout for your email for stuff like that. And my school also had a ResearchGate website where you could go and look at actively recruiting research studies, which is how I found 1 or 2 studies that I participated in as well. So your university probably has something similar where you can go on and look at current research studies that might be recruiting. So this was pretty quick and simple, but this was how I made money in college. Like I said, I was pretty much thriving in college. Definitely had my poor moments, but if I did, I'd hop in Uber, hop in Postmates, go do a research study, and I would get some quick cash. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. Side hustles are such a good way to make money. If you combine 3 or 4 of these, you would not need a regular job. You could do all these things, work with animals, do some passion projects, and be pretty decent off at school. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe if you did, and leave me a comment. Let me know if I missed anything, and I will see you guys so very soon in my next one. Bye guys.